Some post-match fitness work ahead of the weekend match against Burnley. Dele Alli got things started on 10 minutes. Lovely goal this. Bicycle kick into the corner. His second of the season. A reminder of his abilities. 2 second-half goals from Carlos Vinicius. From Gareth Bale. He came on for the final 25 minutes. A first-time finish into the top corner. Lovely goal. And one to remind Tottenham fans perhaps what they've been missing from their starting lineup in Premier League football. Good to see a substitute appearance for 16-year-old Dane Scarlett, 17-year-old Mauro as well. The former setting the fourth goal could have scored himself as well. And though this tie was done in the first leg, important for Spurs to dominate and ease some of the pressure on Jose Mourinho. He said ahead of this game that all managers see blue skies, also clouds in their careers. This was a brighter day than with 5 defeats and 6 in the Premier League. The real barometer.
Get ready to turn left.
Burnley on Sunday.
Absolutely, another good night in the Europa League, but of course it needs to improve in the Premier League. Thank you very much for that, Henry. Manchester City is our commentary from 8 o'clock. We'll also keep across events in Italy this evening as well. Atalanta take on Real Madrid in Bergamo. John Southall will be watching. What are you expecting from this, John?
It's going to be a fascinating game, this, and no more so because Real Madrid have issues going into it, no doubt about that. They've just got a lack of players. At the weekend they just had 11 fit senior ones, and it's a similar one tonight. There's no Benzema with the 17 goals this season, Sergio Ramos, Marcelo, Carvajal, Hazard, Valverde, Rodrigo, amongst others. So Zinedine Zidane doesn't have many options. It's one change, not surprisingly, from that win of the weekend. Slightly surprising one, Isco, who started just 5 games this season, he starts tonight, possibly as a false 9. So they've also got a very long bench as well. And there'll be a big reliance, I think, on their midfield 3 this evening of Modric, Casemiro and Cruz. As for Atalanta, well, 1 defeat in 20 for them. I think they might just fancy this. I suppose it depends which Atalanta turns up. Will it be the one that were dismantled by Liverpool 5-0, or the one that then went to Anfield and won by 2-0? Actually, they are better away from home in the Champions League this season. They're yet to win at home. They're unchanged from the side that beat Napoli on Sunday. And Kelly, we also know they are always entertaining, Atalanta. They've played 15 games in this competition since their debut in it last season, yet to have a goalless draw. They've been involved in 53 goals during that time. That's 3.5 per game, so it should be lively tonight. And I think Real will also be trying just to improve the Spanish performances. Of course, last week we saw Barcelona thumped by PSG, and then of course Chelsea last night, who beat Atletico Madrid by a goal to nil.
Absolutely, John. A chance for Real Madrid to just restore some pride in Spain. Elsewhere, England have got a feeble batting display in Ahmedabad to crumble to 112 all-out at the hands of a dominant India on the first day of the 3rd test. India ended the day 99 for 3, with Rohit Sharma remaining unbeaten on 57. Here's what Michael Vaughan had to say on today's batting display.
Today it just looked like, they were a little bit like the rabbits in the headlight. They didn't know how to play it. They didn't know how to rotate the strike, and then all of a sudden they play a big shot and they think they've relieved the pressure because they've hit a boundary. India know that. India know that this England side, against the spinning ball, they don't have enough players that skillfully play it, and they've got better spinners than England have, and that's why they're on top of this game, as they were in the second test match.
Former England batsman Mark Ramprakash joins us as well. Now, evening, Mark.
Hi, very good evening.
Do you agree with what Michael Vaughan said, that they look like rabbits in the headlights?
Well, that's one way of putting it. I think, look, it would be very easy watching the highlights to feel that England shut out 112. It's a poor batting display. There's no getting away from that. I must say that having watched it, there were some balls that are turned alarming the Indian spinners, given it's day 1. And I think that the England players have been batting first, the toss and batting
Keep
first
right.
on day 1 of the test match.
And then turn right.
I think they were caught in 2 minds as to how to go about things. I think when the ball turns a lot, when there's enough in the pitch
Turn right.
happening to the bowlers, the batters need to recognise that, and I don't think they're quite correct. But having said that, Root, Stokes, both get beaten by good deliveries. Their defence was
Deep
not
right.
the task, and you've got to give a lot of credit to the England bowlers. Now, I think what's important, of course, is that they need to reply well, because they've only got the one spinner in the side, so I think Joe Root might well end up having a bowl at some point tomorrow. But they did get that wicket later on in the day with Kohli, so that at least will give them something to cling on and start well tomorrow morning.
But is the lack of ability from England to deal with the spin a concern, do you think, for this Test match?
Well, yes, it's been a concern for many, many years. I mean, it's a case that whenever England touring sides go to Asia, we find it very difficult. And we have been over-reliant on Joe Root. If you look at the 2 Test wins in Sri Lanka, he got huge scores. And we haven't got enough other players getting big scores as well. I'd like to see Ben Stokes work. Joe Root needs to sort of sidle over to him and say, look, he's got the experience and the range of shots to take the attack a little bit more to the Indian team. But someone like Ollie Pope is quite difficult. He hasn't played that many Test matches, and he's up against it here. Johnny Bairstow, of course, came back into the side.
Get ready to turn
having
right.
had good form in Sri Lanka, was then rested. And of course he's come back in having been rested and got out for naught today. So look, it's a difficult thing to sort of appraise, and as I say, I think they've got a little bit muddled in their gameplay because of the nature of the match.
Turn right.
Is it beyond them now, do you think?
Well, they're certainly up against it, absolutely. As I say, that flicker of light with Virat Kohli, who was dropped just a few hours previous to being dismissed late in the day. That just gives England a bit of hope. And the thing is that things can happen quickly on this pitch. There's plenty in there still for the quick bowlers and the spinners. Now England need to make early inroads. That first session tomorrow, absolutely crucial.
Mark, thank you very much for your time this evening.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much to Mark Ramprakash, and we'll hear from Jonathan Agnew and former England captain Michael Vaughan at half-time. The TMS podcast is ready to download now from BBC Sounds. You can follow day 2 of the 3rd Test on the live text on the BBC Sport website and app, and you can also listen to the Cricket Social with all your favourites from Test Match Special, debating the day's play from 9 in the morning. There's been a goal at the Brentford Community Stadium, Aaron Paul.
Big. Brentford won, Sheffield Wednesday. Now, this one very, very messy, but Brentford won when he came to Aaron Boomer, who was glanced down Sergi Canos' shot. Kamikaze defended by Sheffield Wednesday. But yeah, Brentford in the lead.
Turn right.
Past a sign by a BBC London colleague just with the word big written on it. It's Brentford who lead it 5-0.
It is an important goal for Brentford in that push at the top of the table, particularly, as Aaron was explaining earlier, in terms of the form that they've been on and the injuries that they've had to their side. But they lead Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0. Tiger Woods is awake and responsive following his car crash in Los Angeles yesterday. Woods had to be extricated from the wreck by firefighters and paramedics. He's had surgery on his broken right leg and has had pins and screws inserted to repair his foot and ankle. Our golf correspondent Ian Carter joins us now. Ian, is there anything more you can tell us about the current situation?
Hi Kelly. Well, no, there's not been any update on Wood's condition. There's been a whole day of speculation on what these serious leg injuries might mean for the future, but nothing concrete, and frankly it is just speculation. But what is abundantly clear is that his injuries are very serious. There's a rod that's been inserted into his leg, pins and screws in his foot and ankle, so it's going to be a very long and arduous recovery process. Woods has received so much support by Serena Williams, Mike Tyson, Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey. I mean, that gives you an idea of the spectrum of the support that has come in, alongside messages really from the entire golfing world of support for Saturday.
What kind of things are people saying? I suppose all they can do in this circumstances is to offer their support, Ian.
Exactly, and we've been hearing from players ahead of this week's World Golf Championships event in Florida. Dustin Johnson, the Masters champion, the current world number one, he just described it as a terrible situation. He said how shocked he was to have learnt of the crash while he was playing a practice round yesterday. Rory McIlroy spoke very eloquently about the situation. He made the point straight away that Woods has already been through so much, and actually, really, we should just be grateful that he's alive, given from the footage that we've seen of the wreckage of the crash that took place. He insisted that Woods is always going to be a part of the game. He did concede, though, that perhaps the genius with the golf club in hand, those days may be gone. But he also spoke about those powers of recovery. He said that only those players who were really close